Here we are at the O2 at Momentous Events 2016. I'm joined by Anthony here, who's CEO of EVRH. Now, Anthony, I've got to admit, I know nothing about the company whatsoever, which is that's a good thing, though.
It's a good thing. Tell you more.
I've also got three guys on the couch here. So we've got, is it Chris, James, Alan? You don't hold stock in the company. You do not follow this company on Vox Market's app. Right, Anthony's job is to convince you to follow them on an app, okay? So we're going to go through the company. First and foremost, Anthony's going to give a 1 minute sort of roundup as to what the company is about.
Sure.
So Anthony, to the camera, but for the benefit of these guys, what is EVRH about? I can see we've got this here, but a kit. What's it about?
I guess the first primary question is, do you know anything about virtual reality? No. Okay, so...
Do you know anything about reality?
It's the next step in gaming, I would assume.
Virtual reality is not a new concept. It's been around since the 80s. In the 80s, it wasn't very good. We now have companies like Facebook, HTC, Sony, and Google developing, and Samsung developing their own VR headsets. So, as part of that, EVRH exists to capitalize on entertainment within virtual reality, to create content and to create delivery platforms. So our first delivery platform is Melody VR, which is a music platform. So if you can't be at a show here at the O2, for example, and you want to see a band, you want to see a singer, through our app, which will be across all of the platforms, you can tune into an event, you can watch an event that's already happened, but instead of just watching it on your laptop, you can see it as if you're there. You can be on stage with the band, you can be backstage in the dressing room, and then you can move throughout that event as it happens in real time.
Marvellous. So Anthony, I have a question right off the cuff. Now, listen, the people at home watching on the camera are at a disadvantage, but give this to one of the guys, because I've tried this, and it is phenomenal. I do like it a lot, it really works. Give it to Alan and James and Chris, James has tried it.
Have you?
So while they're looking at this, is it on?
It is on.
So you hit the side there, you look around, and it's like you have a 360-degree view.
So
it's hard to explain because it's virtual reality.
As if you are there. So if you put this to your eyes and just tap that dot, you will be on stage with James Bay.
And you will look around, there'll be people live looking at you. I don't know if you can get tap the bit on the side.
And so now you can
look up, Alan.
Down,
look
left,
up,
right.
Look down. Look up, Alan. Look around.
Yeah, that's cool. My goodness me, that's pretty creative.
See,
It's blasphemy, yeah.
so why Alan's doing that, Anthony?
Yes.
Explain where the revenue comes from.
So the revenue comes from our app, as I mentioned. It's a free of charge app across all of the devices. But within that app, there's a certain amount of free content, but also there's premium content. So if you have an artist, someone like The Who, for example, and you want to see their show, well, you may be able to see a small amount for free. But if you want to see the whole thing, you can purchase that as an in-app purchase, similar to the way you have an in-app purchase on your iPhone. So you tap and you pay your money, and then you can experience that show for as long as you have that device, so over and over again. So you can be there on the stage, you can be there in the crowd, and you can move around throughout that experience. And so the revenue is generated by the sale of content, the VR on demand.
So for example, let's say I want to watch the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered to go there.
Yeah.
They did a recent concert.
Or it's sold out, you're not old enough, you're on the other side of the world.
How do you get that content then? How does that work?
So we work with many artists. We've worked with just under 400 artists now to create VR content at their shows, in their recording studios, at their small capacity events.
Yeah.
So we have great relationships with them. We know their management very well. We know their record labels very well, their publishers, all of the rights holders, which makes this a very difficult market to enter. But if you have those relationships, you can make a call to James Bay and say, hey, you're playing Festival Number 6, you're playing in Hammersmith Apollo. Would you like to capture this in VR and make it available to the world and to your fans via VR and via our app?
Yeah.
And that's how we create the content. And as part of that, we custom developed our own video cameras. We built our own technology for production, post-production, delivery. So our pipeline is completely end-to-end and in-house, but it's a set of technology that isn't available to other businesses or the general public.
Do you know what? This is ideal for me. I like watching concerts on telly.
Yeah.
But it's like people say you miss out on the atmosphere. Listen, I didn't want to push my way through 600 people to go to the toilet,
Yes.
When I can watch that, and I think this would add to my experience,
Completely.
So first and foremost, how much does it cost to get this content from the artist, or is it a revenue share? How does that work?
Yeah, so there's a revenue share to all of the rights holders. So that's artists, their record label, the publishing and the songwriting, and in certain circumstances, it's also the promoter of that event. So we hold 40 exclusive partnerships with festival promoters, and where we capture content at one of their festivals, so for example, something like Festival Number 6, then we'll capture all of that content and then make that available to the fans, and through that they'll also get a revenue share from the content.
Okay, so guys, do you, Chris, James, Alan, do you have any questions at all? Alan?
I mean, virtual reality has been around for a while.
Yes.
It's been discussed a lot, broadcast a lot, but clearly this is a great move forward. And you know, I'm with Justin on I like to watch music on TV as well. For instance, Led Zeppelin played a gig here a few years back. If I could have seen that on virtual reality, it would have been a dream come true. I'm just interested, what's the mind going into this?
So this is...
So Alan's asking what's the market potential if he's off mic. What's the market potential here? Because he likes the idea, but like I said, you know, do they have to buy that bit of kit? I assume. How much does the kit cost?
So at the moment, if you buy a new Samsung phone, you get this for free. But it ranges anywhere from £10 for a Google Cardboard up to £600 for a very high-end HTC headset. So it's accessible depending on how much money you want to spend. Yeah, if you pre-order an S7, you get one. You got one. If you also buy an S7 now, every other month you get one for free. So you can always backdate and get one through the post. So it really just runs off your smartphone. So you either have one already and you pay your £80 for the headset, or you get one for free with a new phone. But the point here is that this is, aside from the 80s, it's very early days of technology. So sooner rather than later, we're going to see these being realistically given away by a lot of phone manufacturers, and they'll be in every box. And at that point, the interesting thing here with the industry is that billions of dollars have been spent in the hardware. No one's really creating a vast amount of content. From our point of view, you know, our content library is certainly the biggest VR content library for music, and if not the biggest VR content library in existence. So lots of money's been spent on hardware, no money's been spent on content. So we aim to fill that gap.
Yeah, do you know, it's one of those things that we know is coming, you
Yes.
know? And it's like, who grabs that? And, you know, who delivers it in the best way, the most, you know, affordable way? The guy who's going to be, you know, it's like going to be one of these new Facebooks probably, or, you know. But it's like I said, it's will it happen? But we know it's coming, you know.
It's coming.
Okay, listen, let's round up. For the guys here, 3 points. Why should they add you, EVRH, to their Vox Markets watch list?
As far as we know, we're the world's first pure-play virtual reality stop. Secondly, as I mentioned a second ago, we hold the world's largest library of virtual reality content. Certainly music content, probably virtual reality content as a whole. And on top of that, we hold exclusivity partnerships for a minimum of 5 years, up to 25 years with music festival promoters, which means that throughout the lifespan of the technology, and it is early days right now, we're going to have a consistent stream of new content, which will be able to be monetized via our app.
Do you know what? I mean, I don't follow you on Vox Markets, but I am going to follow you.
Great.
Because it's one of the things, even if I'm not at the moment going to invest, I'm going to follow the story.
Please.
And see what happens. And
Exactly.
I think, you know, because it's one of the things that could blossom and become huge. And it's almost like, I don't want to miss the train here, you know?
Completely. And as you know, we're pre-product launch for Melody.
Yeah.
Later this year, we'll be launching that product, and people will be able to consume it as consumers, get it on their devices, get it on their smartphones, have a look at it. And
it's almost,
that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and it's almost by following you and reading your RNSs, you're following that industry, the virtual reality industry, to see how it's developing. And I'm very interested in that because I think it will be massive, you know.
I agree.
And you know, Mark Zuckerberg believes it will be, and he's a guy who knows his stuff a little bit. So okay, let's go for the guys here. Alan, would you follow EVRH on the Vox Markets? What's it?
I will.
He's a follower. James.
Right, I would, because I love festivals, literally. I go to every festival ever. And I can imagine for people, I've been gutted when I missed festivals.
Sure.
So I can see it.
James loves festivals. I hate them, but you got him when you miss them, so you.
But also,
follow.
sorry to interrupt, but also with the things that you miss at festivals. So you can obviously only see a few artists.
Holiday, I can go to a particular festival. So I mean, you know, you get all these people on Twitter going, "Oh, I can't get a ticket to a certain festival." So there is, I can see there's a niche there.
Chris, what's your opinion here? Yeah, I would as well. It's almost like you don't want to miss out here, you know? You don't know whether it's going to make a billion or nothing, but it could make a billion, you know? It's one of those things that could, yeah.
This is the player in the market.
Exactly.
You can invest in.
Exactly. Marvellous. Anthony, thank you very much for coming on.
Absolute
You've
pleasure.
scored 3-0 there. Well done.